Hey friends, so today I'm just going to walk you through some really practical but simple SEO basics that you must know if you're going to get organic traffic and ultimately get leads from your website. And before you're like, oh my gosh, I have no SEO, you probably do know some of these, but you might not. And some of these things are really simple shifts that you can make on your website. And some of them are going to take a little bit more time to implement, but these really are basics that you have to know and you have to be thinking about every single time you sit down to create content for your ideal customer. So pop out that notepad and pen because you know note takers are history makers, and get ready to learn some SEO basics that you really need to implement, and they're not terribly hard to do. Hey there, fellow entrepreneur. Welcome to Simple SEO and Marketing with me, Faith Hannon. Do you want to grow your business with organic marketing and finally feel like you can understand SEO? Are you scouring the internet for how to get more website traffic, SEO for dummies, and how to market on Pinterest? Have you tried to grow your business with SEO and blogging only to get frustrated and quit because it's overwhelming and too time consuming? Been there. Hey, I'm Faith Hannon, Jesus lover, copywriter, blogger, wife, wrangler of tiny humans, and barrel racer. And let me tell you, I didn't have time to waste sorting through SEO and keyword strategies that either didn't work or were so over my head I couldn't understand them. I honestly thought that SEO and blogging only worked for people with a PhD in tech jargon and a whole team of employees, until I learned these secrets. Good SEO strategies don't have to be complicated, and creating and marketing great content doesn't have to take more than a couple hours a week total. So pop in those earbuds, slam some coffee, and let's grow your business with simple organic marketing and a healthy dose of biblical encouragement along the way. The first SEO basics that I want to talk to you about today is your website load speed. Now, if you're like, what in the heck are you talking about, Faith? Let me explain for you. So your website load speed is just simply how long does it take your website and each individual page to load when somebody clicks on it. Now, you don't have to get crazy technical for this. You don't have to get crazy technical to make this work for you. A huge way to improve your website load speed is, one, don't have a bajillion cotton picking ads on there. Don't have 97 different pop-ups, and don't have huge image file sizes. Now, if you have your website on Show It is automatically going to shrink your images. If you need to shrink them further for that, there's a ton of free file shrinkers, image size shrinkers out there. Or when you're getting your images from your photographer, you can just ask to get your images in a web-friendly format, and they'll put them in a smaller image size for you. If you're wondering, okay, well, that's cool, Faith, but how do I see what the loading speed of my website is? Do I just have to get on my stopwatch and be like, boom, start, boom, stop? No. There are hacks for that. So there's a website called Uptrends that lets you test your website domain from different places. So if you're like, I want to know how fast this loads in a foreign country, great, put her in there. If you want to know how fast it loads in New York, put it in there. I mean, obviously, your great Aunt Thelma, who still has dial-up internet, we're not going based off of her load speed, right? But just go to Uptrends, put your website in there, make sure that it's loading correctly. If it is, great, move on to the next thing. Don't stress about this too much. If your website is super image heavy, super ad heavy, then maybe you need to reevaluate some stuff, because you don't want your website to take forever to load, because hello, we are impatient. And if somebody clicks off of your website before it even loads, how sad that you're not going to have a chance to serve them with what you're good at just because your website load speed was poop. Okay, tip number dos is this. So I lied. Tip number 2 is actually kind of two-part. So for every piece of content that you create, I want you to think two things. I want you to think, one, first of all, how is this helpful? Because where a ton of people will tell you that you need to just create content to create content. I don't think you should. I think you should never create anything or publish anything unless it's helpful, right? Like, don't waste people's time. And you have so much stuff to say. You have so much knowledge. You have so much insight that creating helpful content, I mean, you can do it in your sleep once you make that mental shift that you need to be creating stuff that's helpful. So for every piece of content, I want you to ask yourself, is this helpful? Okay, that's the first question. And then the second question I want you to ask when you're sitting down to create content, I want you to think, what are people searching for every single piece of content that you create? Because great SEO is essentially the equivalent of a great location in real estate. The build it and they will come philosophy only works if you build it with the right keywords in the right places. So when you're sitting down to create content, think, okay, is this helpful? Check. That's done. Now, what are people searching for? All right. And then create your content around that. And just that simple shift in thinking, what are people searching for, will help your content not only get, it won't just help you get more keywords in your content, but it'll help them to be more authentic. And then you're not going to sound like a robot and like somebody who's just like fishing for people without actually wanting to help people, if that makes sense. In episode 10, I actually go into this, writing good content that's SEO friendly. I go into that a lot more, and I really talk about how to write SEO friendly content without sounding like a robot, because we've all read those web pages and websites that were clearly written by a robot for robots, and that's not what we want to do. All right, now your number 3 tip. Ready, Freddy? Is the search size of your keywords really matters. Now, I've talked about this before in episode number 20, where I talk about really 10 SEO things that I wish I had learned sooner. So go back and listen to that when you're done with this if you're wanting to know more about that. But the search size of your keywords really, really matters, because if you're a new little baby business, don't try to go for giant keywords on Google. Don't try to go for the keywords and the keyword phrases that are searched 80,000 times a month. If you only have 4 blogs out, I can promise you that you are not going to rank for those giant keywords. Now, Answer the Public is one of my favorite tools. It's a free tool if you're running out of content ideas. But you can actually, here's a fun little hack. You can actually go to Answer the Public and type in your topic and get a ton of ideas. Now, it's an AI tool, right? So some of the things that it generates, some of the ideas that it generates are not going to work because it's generated by a machine and not a person. So it's phrased weird. But go to Answer the Public, type in your keyword phrase, and just get some ideas for more specific topics that you could answer in your content, more specific questions that you could answer instead of, okay, let me give you an example. If you're a shoe company, if you're a startup shoe company, you're not going to rank on Google for shoes. You might rank for handmade shoes for children between the ages of 5 and 10. Again, I'm making this up as I go. So you would go to Answer the Public and search for handmade shoes. Okay. And 50 different topics would populate about handmade shoes for children, handmade leather shoes, the best handmade shoes for children that underpronate. Okay. So then you would take that, and here is another faux free tip. You would go to Uber Suggest, the free version, if you haven't already purchased the paid version, and use one of your free searches for the day. Or you could go to Google Chrome, download the Uber Suggest plugin, and type in some of those topics and see how many searches they have per month. Now, if you're a brand new baby business, I want you to stay in the 300 to 500 searches a month for that topic, and then create, a podcast, YouTube, or blog around that topic and answer it really well, answer it in depth, answer it in a helpful way, and use keywords strategically, because it's better to be found in a smaller pool of searches than to never ever be found at all in a giant pool. Again, this is something I wish I would have known much sooner, but take tip number 3 and run with it, because that is money in the bank, y'all. Okay, tip number 4. Now, this is going to be one of those that seems super obvious until it isn't, and it's costing you a ton of organic traffic and ultimately a ton of leads. Don't delete the hyphens in your URLs. So I am 100% guilty of doing this. Early in my online business and blogging journey, because I'm like, oh, that's annoying to have to type a hyphen in to find something, which it is, not gonna lie. However, like I've talked about before, Google and other search engines, they're not always smart enough to separate the words, right? So if you have 3 tips for letting God be your source, 3 tips for letting God be your strength, or something like that, literally just looking at a note on my wall. But like if you have 3 tips for God as my source without hyphens in between the words, it's going to read like 3 tips, right? Versus having the hyphens, it's going to read, as a search engine crawls it, as 3 tips for God being your source, okay? Don't delete the URLs, or don't delete the dashes in your URLs, okay? Please and thank you. Just take that tip, file it away. Don't ever delete a dash again, okay? Hey friend, I know you're trying to grow this business, but does it feel like it's not really going anywhere? Did you know that we can actually fix the back end of your business so that you have some great SEO? Did you know that we can repurpose your podcast or repurpose your blog and help you grow faster? Did you know that was even an option? If you're thinking, oh my goodness, Faith, that would be amazing, then head on over to faithhannon.com/coaching or click the link in the show notes. In just 1 hour of your time, we'll get you a marketing plan in a box with the exact keywords that you need to be going for, how and where to implement them, and at least 3 months of SEO-focused content planned out for you. Let's get your coaching call on the books right now and get your marketing strategy headed in the right direction. Spots are limited, so don't wait. And I cannot wait to help you finally get the breakthrough you've been waiting for and jumpstart your business dream back to life. And the 4th SEO basic that I want you to know so you can start getting more organic traffic is this. Actually, this is a 5th. I didn't count very good. Tip number 5, okay, is that SEO doesn't have to be scary and it doesn't have to all be fixed all at once. Like I know that when people first start finding out, like from firsthand experience, when I have clients that first start finding out that they've done stuff wrong, like first, some of them get like almost sick to their stomach because they're like, oh my gosh, I've been leaving so much money on the table. I have done so much wrong. Please help me. Like, oh my gosh, is this ever fixable? One, yes, it is fixable because nothing is chiseled in stone, right? It's all digital. It can all be changed. It might take some time depending on how much content you have out there and how bad you messed up your SEO stuff, which is why I'd much rather you learn how to do it right from the get-go. But even if you've screwed it up royally, it can be fixed. And if you're just starting out or you're just wanting to really start to optimize your website so you can get more leads, know that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, I have to spend 87 hours this week fixing my SEO. If you are a go big or go home kind of gal, props to you. I understand that. I feel that in my bones. But it doesn't have to be that way. You literally can just do, okay, let's do keyword research today so that tomorrow we can create more keyword friendly content, okay? You can start by fixing one blog post at a time, right? One past blog post and then doing your future blog post correctly. It doesn't have to be fixed all at once and it doesn't have to be scary. So it is part of my, like ongoing education. I'm just constantly trying to learn more about SEO, trying to learn more about, keyword and keywords and Google Analytics and all the things that I, want to know more about and do need to know more about to just continue getting better and better and better at what I do. But in my ongoing education and just what I've been listening to and learning more about, even me, who I help people with their SEO, sometimes I listen to other SEO people and I'm like, I don't even know what that word means. I don't know what that means. And I literally have to Google things and figure out what words mean. Part of it is just because this world, this SEO website optimization world, like people just use acronyms like it ain't no thing, right? And here I am using SEO as an acronym, right? Like it can be really overwhelming and scary if you let it be, but it doesn't have to be. If there is somebody that you're learning from that you're like, I cannot even, and they're just overwhelming you, stop, right? Find somebody that simplifies it. And if you're just like completely overwhelmed by all the things, literally pause an episode, go figure out the definition of a word and make yourself a little definition cheat sheet, okay? Make yourself some flashcards or something so that you can learn in a non-overwhelming way, okay? SEO doesn't have to be scary. It really can be fairly simple. Hence the name of the podcast, because I don't want things to be overwhelming or scary for you as you're trying to grow your online business and get more leads from your website, okay? And the last thing I have for you today is just this friendly little encouragement and reminder that SEO strategies and trying to truly grow your business around your website so that you can get organic traffic and get leads from your website and make your website your number one traffic driver, or make it work with your podcast or your YouTube channel or whatever, is just to remind you that it takes time. Like this is not the microwave approach. This is not the pointing and dancing, going viral on social media that gets you 90,000 new followers in a week, none of whom are going to be there 2 years from now, right? Like this is not the microwave approach where, your food is maybe heated up in the middle, maybe not. But this lasts way longer. When you learn to have great SEO and really build a foundation to generate leads from your website, it's a foundation that lasts because it's built around solid strategies that don't change every 30 seconds, okay? So yes, it may take more time to see traffic and to see leads and to see, people coming onto your email list or whatever, especially when you're first starting out with SEO strategies. It might take longer to heat up, but it lasts way longer. So don't get overwhelmed if you don't see, 800% growth in the first month. Okay? Rome wasn't built in a day, and a great online marketing strategy using organic marketing techniques, it doesn't work overnight either, okay? So take heart. If you've been in it for a minute and you're still not seeing super great results, hang tight. If you're not seeing results after like 3 to 6 months, okay, let's adjust some things, okay? But know that it doesn't have to work overnight for it to be super valuable for your business, because really you're in this for the long haul anyway, right? Okay, so I'm going to pray over y'all and then I'm going to peace out. But I do just really want to pray over you guys today. Lord, I ask that you would give them, or just a peace in moving forward with, sustainable strategies to grow their online business and generate leads. Lord, I ask that you would give them supernatural insight into the words that their people are using. Lord, help them to just feel confident in what you've called them to do and what you've enabled them to offer and to serve people with, and just stay focused on you, Lord, in the path that you have for them and the track that you have for them, Lord, that they would truly move forward in grace and strength and peace into everything that you have for them to do. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. All right, I'll chat with y'all next time. Until then, be blessed and have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening in today. Hopefully this episode gave you some really tangible tips for better SEO and marketing to get more leads and more sales from your website. If it did, can I ask you a quick favor? Would you please share this episode with a friend, and then just take 10 seconds and go leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. That is the very best way to help more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs scale their businesses so that they can help more people with their gifts and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom of God. And guess what? We now have a Facebook community where we can learn, hang out, and laugh. Go join the Facebook group now. It's linked in the show notes. And all the other things, courses, coaching, and copywriting, can be found at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.